Hi, and welcome to another episode of Josefine Meets. And today I have a very special guest with me. I have Jeanette Vinberg. She's an international dating coach, and we are going to talk about confidence because confidence is super important when it comes to business and also when it comes to finding the partner of your life. So, hi, Jeanette. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
So, before we kick off this whole thing and talking about confidence and everything, please let us know a little bit who you are, what it is that you do, and where it all started.
I am Jeanette Vinberg. I live in Sweden. I have my base in Sweden, and I work as an international dating coach. So I have been doing that for 12 years. I'm 50 years old almost, and I have two grown-up children. So I started my business a long time ago because I got divorced. And I was single for a long time, and I didn't want to be single, and I didn't know what I did wrong, and I played the same card over and over, and I didn't understand it. So I tried to Google some dating coach, and I didn't find it. And then is when I got the idea that someone has to take the market in the dating coaching. So that is what I did. So on that way, I do matchmaking and dating coaching. Yes.
That is amazing. And you've also started going international not so long ago. Before you only covered the Swedish market, and you're also famous from Swedish television. We need to say that too. So you started taking from the whole kind of like national business to go international business too.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
And I guess there it also kind of like for you had something to do with your confidence. You had to kind of like up your confidence a little bit.
I had the vision a long time to go international, but I was afraid of the English speaking, and I was afraid of what the Swedish people would say when I started the international market. So it was a little bit scary, but I also started to work with you. We did this process, and it's because of you and the push. It's my vision, but it's your push. So that was needed. Today, I don't even care about the English speaking anymore. It's like, this is who I am today. So I have done it, and I'm so proud of it. But there's more to come. So yes.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that is a little bit kind of like about confidence. If we talk about confidence, and you and I, before we started the recording, we also spoke a lot about self-esteem, and you had some really kind of like great takeaways from that. So I want to dig a little bit deeper into that. But before we start there, to really kind of like we stand a little bit like in front of a hurdle, something that kind of blocks us from taking that next step. And that is, as you say, when we might need the push to actually dare to just, get
We
over that.
do.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And sometimes it's good to be, have this kind push, but sometimes you also need to get a grip on yourself. You need to do this. What can happen? You need to
Yeah.
see from the different perspective. What is the fear? Because I'm not universal. So people have their own lives. They don't spend so many minutes on me thinking, oh, why did she do this or she made that wrong? Maybe they look at it for 2 seconds, they reflect, and they move on. So
Yeah.
I'm making myself more important than I really am. And this is my brain ghosts. This is only on me. And I don't think people care about my English accent or they are listening to what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
this is a fantasy in my mind. This is fear from old programming from before, of course.
This is such a great input because when I did my very first online course, I had this fear that, that the videos are not perfect or the cutouts are not perfect. And I invited people to join that first course. It was given for free. So they joined it in exchange for feedback. What happened was that one of these participants confirmed my fear. She said the cutouts are not correct. She even kind of said something about the microphone. I can't remember, but kind of out of 57 people, one person kind of confirmed my fears. And you mentioned before, you said it's something about kind of judging our performance, that is where kind of the root of all evil, if you want to come to
Yeah,
that. Can you talk a little bit more about that one?
this is exactly what you're saying now, because this is the thing. When we are taught up by grown-ups, or maybe you had experiences from school or the work or the where you go to the gym or anything, performance, when you are taught up that you are measured by what you are doing and not who you are, you always think that you need to perform 100% to get liked. So this is like in the core, in the soul, and in the heart. This is really, really a fear. If I don't perform now as they expect me to do, they will not like me.
Or
And
as you think they expect you to. Because
yes,
there was one person out of 57. It's like when you're holding a presentation, you have a room with 100 people and there's one person sitting there, with their arms crossed and like really don't really want to be in the room. The person you kind of focus on is the one person. And instead you should focus on the 99 who love every word that you're saying.
Yes, exactly. And this is the thing. We will always have like haters, if I can say it like that. We will always have people that don't connect with us, agree with us. There will always be those people. But if we focus on the good audience, there is our clients, there are the audience, there are the positive people that gives us energy. The other ones, we can never ever be liked by anyone, by everyone. So yeah.
When you walk into a room, for example, and you walk into the room, with a little bit like the shoulders like this, and maybe your eyes to the floor, you give a different view of yourself compared to if you walk with your shoulders back and a straight look. So I know you have more to this picture than just the posture. But if you start by talking about the posture, can you give us a little bit about what the impact of a posture might have on someone?
The posture is everything, the body language. We are showing people who we are with our body language. If we go into a room with a good posture, we have confidence. We don't actually need to have it, we can play it. Confidence we can play, self-esteem we cannot play, but still this is the impression that the people will get from us if we go straight. If we go like this crumb, you will get a impression of me that I'm insecure or not interested or somehow weak. There is no power in this. But if you do like this, something happens. And you mirror that and you get respect immediately. So this is also how you have your head and your eyes, and how long you can look at a person, the eye contact and the open body language. So if you sit like this, you're close. This is like basic. But of course, when you enter the room, you should never focus on, can I be in this room? You should be curious. Who is these people in this room? Maybe I can get to know someone that can add something to my life. This is interesting. And not like, oh, I'm in the wrong room.
Oh, yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So instead of thinking about, am I in the right room, think about who are in this room and can I get to one person? Yeah.
Yes, because that changed it. That shifted everything. Who are they? This is interesting. Who is she? What is she working with? And you could go towards those people. But as soon as you do, I'm in the wrong space. But even if you are in the wrong space, you can still learn something. This is the magic. You can always learn something. Even if the people are totally, you feel that they are higher than you, lower than you, boring, or whatever. You can always learn, always.
Yeah, that is so true. You briefly touched based on the self-esteem piece. So can you give us a little bit more input on the self-esteem?
Self-esteem is the belief you have on yourself. This is the core, the soul. This is the thing where you are always so hard on yourself that you are not good enough. Because the self-confidence, you can really act it. You can just put on a mask, you can go into that room, you can enter that room, you go home, you are exhausted and you feel, what did I say? Did they like me? Maybe I said something wrong. Oh no, why did I say that to that person? Now they think I'm like this. I talk too much about myself, and on and on and on. But the self-esteem, it comes from the heart. This cannot be played, never. But this is, again, when you have low self-esteem, it's when you don't see your own worth, really. And you judge yourself from what other people think of you. So you let other people decide your worth. And mostly this is old programming, mostly from something happened before in your life that hit you.
Can you give an example maybe of such old programming?
It can be anything. It can be in school class. Maybe someone made fun of you. It can be your parents or your caretaker that showed you that you need to perform in a certain way, or they maybe pushed you down and talked down to you when you were a child. You were never like really good enough, or you had a boyfriend or girlfriend or that was like also talking down to you, breadcrumbing you, the narcissism. If you've been through all that, you really think you have less worth. And it's hard to build it up again. And then we don't think that we can be likable if we don't perform again exactly like they want us to do. And that goes also for emotions, because you feel the guilt all the time. So to build self-esteem, the first thing you need to do is put away the guilt and acknowledge where the key is coming from. Where is the key? Why do I feel like this? Who did this to me? Why? What happened? Yeah.
I have a very, very simple example, but one of these things that actually really formed kind of like one situation of my life, and that is about role plays. When I was as a leadership offsite, I was the only one who was a native English speaker in that group of people. And the person who managed these role plays afterwards made fun of me in front of the whole group. And I felt so ridiculed. I felt like, he was making fun of me in front of everyone, and that totally. And since then, I don't want to be in any role plays, because I'm not doing that again. Why should I put myself out of kind of the risk of being ridiculed in front of everyone? I did nothing wrong, obviously he did, but it's still something that really kind of like puts a stamp on a person's life. Yeah.
It's a scar. And the thing is, this is not about you, it's about them. So normally the best thing would be to release them. And they can do whatever they want. That has nothing to do with your life. You have your core. So you release them and you do role play again. It doesn't matter, because this is like old. So this is, you forgive them and you take away the learning. This is not about you, it's about them. So they can go to an own coach and you move on. So yes, this is when we liberate people.
Yeah.
This is when we get free inside somehow. Just liberate them. Go your own path.
I don't even remember his name though, but I remember the feeling. I remember being in that room. And the thing is, sometimes we also play it much bigger. As you said in the beginning, that I am the only one who cares so much about myself, about who I look like, and, the impression people have of me. Other people who were at the same training probably they don't even remember this episode.
No. And I have the same, not the same, but for me, it is like I get always like really, really red. So when I perform or something, I get so red. This is why I don't like to get the focus on me when I lecture or something. It takes like 15 minutes before the redness. And this comes from school. This comes from school time. Also my old programming, when I center, how they were laughing at me, but not at me, with me, like irony. I was not a bully or something, nothing at all. But there was always something in our class. We were really harsh to another. We had that talking to each other, unfortunately. But everyone was picked out in the weakness. And then we made fun of the weakness, like for everyone in the group. So, but for me, it was the redness. And this is like today, I'm 50 years old. And still today, I get fear of the redness. So even if it was a joke, it scarred me. Obviously.
Yeah. I had the same. It's become better, but and you feel it, right? And you think that everyone is you blush in your face. And then when you feel it, it gets worse. So it's like, and it takes time, as you say, to get out of that. Yeah. But if we want to start building our self-esteem, as you say, we need to forgive the person who put us in that situation, or who made us feel.
Not accept, but forgive. Accept we cannot. We cannot, but we need to forgive and see the learning in it and liberate them. Because as long as we have feeling towards them, they have the power. They're still in your energy. It is poison. So take it away.
Yeah. Good one. You want to get rid of all those energy suckers.
Yes.
Get rid of them. But are there any ways how we can improve our self-esteem?
I think when we put away the guilt in any way, all guilt goes. And when we realize that no one out there can decide my worth, I can decide my worth. So this is self-love, self-care. But also, I think when you do like checklists, we love checklists. We love to get stuff done that we have promised ourselves. So if I do, like, for example, I say to myself, I go to the gym 2 days a week. And I really do that, or I will bake a bread once a week, or whatever it can be, you know, and I
Mm-hmm.
can shake it off. I build trust to myself.
Mm.
So make small lists that you really know that you can manage, because if you do too long list and you fail, you will beat yourself down.
Yeah.
But with this list or with this check, we are starting to trust ourselves. And when we trust ourselves, we also can let someone else in to trust us. Because if we don't trust us, they don't trust us.
Yeah.
When we trust us, we build self-esteem.
Mm-hmm. So you said before we can actually fake the confidence. We can walk
Yes,
into
we can.
the room looking like we're like the most confident peacock in the whole room, but we cannot fake self-esteem. So
No,
we
we
need
cannot.
to build from kind of like from the core to start building that. Can you see? Do you think you can see if someone fakes the confidence and has a bad self-esteem?
I think in a mingle or in work, I think it's really hard to see the fake confidence, because that is when you know what people for maybe 10 minutes to 3 hours. It's like
Mm-hmm.
an event or something. And in that arena, it's really difficult to see, because the mask can be played like hardcore 100%. But when you get to know someone, if you look at a relationship, you can see it clearly, because then you have a block to vulnerability and you play it cool, or you play it somehow you cannot reach them in the inner core. They are protecting themselves, or they get angry, or projection. There is always something that is going on, and then you can see it. Yes, of course. Yeah,
Sooner or later, it pops up to the surface.
it does. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. This is the main thing you need to work on. This goes also for attachment styles, because you need to sort out, why do you have low self-esteem? What is
Mm-hmm.
happening, and from where is it coming? And then
Mm-hmm.
you can work with that. But if you don't do it, you cannot have, I don't think you can have any good relationship, because you don't have a good relationship to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But how can we then say if I have a low self-esteem, how can I because many people say, oh, I'm not confident enough. But then it's
Yeah.
probably the root cause is probably rather the low self-esteem and has less to do with the confidence.
It can be, but it can also be, if I go on the stage, it can have to do with the confidence. I feel fear of going on the stage. Maybe I'm nervous, or my nervous system is blocking me somehow. It's like going outside the box. But maybe I can have a really good self-esteem anyway. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
scary thing to do. If you tell me you go bungee jumping, I would say, no, I have no confidence to do that. But it has nothing to do with my esteem. Esteem is more emotionally,
Yeah.
how I believe in myself and how I let other people affect me. While bungee jumping, yeah, maybe I'm not confident enough to do that.
I wouldn't do that
Yeah,
either.
no, it's a little bit different. You need to separate those things. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, very good. So if we want to kind of try to summarize these things and wrap it all up, I think we started by saying be curious. And I think be curious about yourself, be curious in when you enter a room. I think that is a really important takeaway.
Yes, it is. And you get so much out of life when you do it like that. In everything you do, it also takes away fear, and it also builds your esteem, actually. When you
Mm-hmm.
look at it that way, what can people give you? What colors can you take in? What can I paint with this? What can I do with this? It's really a nice way to look at life and people. You don't need to agree, you don't need to like them, but they can always teach you something.
Yeah. And I
And it
think
takes away the focus from yourself, right?
yeah, absolutely. And I think especially I'm kind of doing a huge bow to something else now. But if you think about like a networking event, sometimes they can be really kind of ooh, itchy to go there because people
Yes.
go to these networking events
Yeah.
where like, oh, I want to make these connections and I'm going to sell, or I need a new job. So this is what I need. But instead to put that aside and think more in a curious way, not like with a stressed agenda that you have to do, or you have to, I don't know, enter the room like the
Yeah.
most person, but be curious. Yeah.
Yes, the beautiful thing is when you do that, you really attract those people, because you get really interested in your appearance,
Mm-hmm.
because you have a good posture, you're
Yeah.
curious with your eyes, but you are not desperate. You're not there to grasp and take and take and take. You're there to give and to be curious about people, and people will notice that. And I promise you will be the center if you do that.
Oh,
You
yeah.
will get people to you, because this is really a magnet. How do you call it? Give me the word.
A magnet. You're
Yeah.
magnetizing. Two Swedes talking about magnetism.
Yeah,
It's very
yeah,
good.
that was the word I was looking for. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
When we take away that focus, it relaxes us. So
Yeah. It's like when you were a teenager, you were like, I'm looking for a boyfriend. There were no boyfriends
yeah,
anywhere close.
no. But yeah, I would just say this one more time also with the posture, because the body language is so important when you are open. And it's also when it comes to dating, that you are not being like this. You need to lean forward, and you need to get close to that person, show closeness somehow. So it's really important that we don't scare people off with this.
And the
Yeah.
second step we also spoke about was to that self-esteem comes from the heart, and that you need to forgive, but not, what did you say? You said something.
Accept. You don't need to accept.
You don't need to
You
accept.
need to accept the situation, but you
Yeah.
don't have to accept the actions from that person.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there is also learning in that. Would I ever make kind of ridicule anyone in front of a big group? Never, ever. I would never. So to take these kind of like learnings, everything that we do, everything that we experience, are learnings to that helps us actually take us one step forward, independently of what happens.
Yes, and also for me, I have like stage fear, like really stage fear. I faint on stage, and I have been having trouble with that since I was in the school, like in yeah, always.
Yeah.
And now I need to be on the stage because this is my work. So
Yeah.
what I did is I started out with podcasts on radio and stuff where I was protected behind the screen. But also my first day at stage, I did it with someone. I did it with another dating coach.
Yeah.
So I was not alone, and that took a little bit the fear away. So also what you can do is when you have a fear of something, go to someone that is really good at it, not bad at it, but good at it, and go with them and learn with them, because then they make it seem so easy. It's contagious.
That is a very good one. So it kind of like the whole self-esteem, or the confidence in doing something else, something new that scares you. If you follow in someone else's footsteps, it's so much easier.
It is. Take help in that one, yeah.
Is there anything else that you would like to add to the whole confidence, self-esteem topic, Jeanette? I know it's a huge topic, but just for
It is.
for the sake of this Josefine Meets episode.
I think it's just really, really important to follow your own path and your own beliefs and your own love to life and people, and not make so much out of what people are thinking about you, because that is damaging. That is really the poison for you when you do that. And it throws your life away somehow. The year is ticking, and you make so much out of it what people are thinking, that you will stop, you will not grow. You can only grow from yourself. And if you believe in what you do, you have nothing to fear. So I think that is my ending words.
Yeah, very good. And so if people want to connect with you, how can they best connect with you?
I'm all over social media, and my name is the same everywhere. So Jeanette Vinberg in Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and email. So yeah, everywhere.
And you have a show that will start on Swedish television this autumn, which I'm super excited about. Not that I'm looking for someone to date, to see you. I'm really looking forward to that.
That was scary when we talk about self-esteem. That was really going outside the box to do a TV show. So it will come in October in Sweden. So yes, it's exciting. I will travel somewhere. I will go to Switzerland.
Yeah. So we can watch the episodes together. So thank you so much, Jeanette, for being my guest on Josefine Meets. And for those of you who have seen this for the very first time, there are a lot of other really cool episodes on Josefine Meets with super inspiring people. I get to meet the most inspiring entrepreneurs and people who actually dare to take the steps. Even though, as Jeanette says, she has stage fright, she just recorded a Swedish television show that will be aired to millions of people this autumn. So independently, if it really scares you, take one little step and then another step and another step. And as Jeanette also said, be inspired by other people. My name is Josefine Warner. I'm also an international business coach and growth strategist. And if you want to create an offer that sells, then please ping me. I am your go-to person for that. So thank you all so much.